here for you with new stories from the Horn of Africa, especially Ethiopia. Firstly, Sudan viewers. Yesterday, I reported about ongoing sit-ins in three cities, neighboring cities of Sudan: Khartoum city, capital, Bahri, and Umdurman. What is the latest situation there? Secondly, Sudan's Communist Party today released a statement about these sit-ins. These sit-ins are going to put pressure, they are putting pressure upon Sudanese military. A second news story is about IGAD, Intergovernmental Authority on Development. Its heads of state are due to meet tomorrow in Kenya. Ethiopia is part of IGAD, Eritrea as well, Sudan. This extraordinary session is due to be held in Nairobi, Kenya. What is the agenda of tomorrow's meeting of IGAD? Thirdly, we have a new story about a journalist arrested more than a month ago. He was granted bail. The bail was revoked. Once again, he has been granted bail. Will he be released? Fourthly, very important news story, viewers. Bekele Gerba and Jawar Muhammad are on diaspora trip. They are meeting with diaspora community, especially Oromo diaspora community in Seattle. They spoke last night, and Bekele Gerba spoke about the presence of Amhara forces, Amhara militias in Oromia. What did he say? A confirmation that Amhara forces have entered Oromia. What did he say? And lastly, viewers, some news sources claimed a few days ago that Ethiopian PM Abiy, in a meeting of Prosperity Party, said that the government will have to give Western Tigray back to Tigray, and Tigray will launch a new war if Western Tigray is not given back to it. Now, a pro-PM Abiy journalist who is known for defending PM Abiy, he spoke about PM Abiy's remarks about Western Tigray. What did he say? Firstly, viewers, first news story is from Sudan. On Thursday, there were massive demonstrations in Sudan. Tens of thousands took to the streets against Sudan's military-led government. Since October, protests have been going on. The protesters want democratic reforms. They want an end to political role of Sudanese military. Sudan's military is not stepping back. On a Thursday, in a crackdown on these demonstrations, around 10 protesters were killed and hundreds were injured. And after that, immediately after the demonstrations of Thursday, Sudanese protesters staged sit-ins in three cities of Sudan: Khartoum city, capital city of Sudan; secondly, Bahri, close to Khartoum city; and thirdly, Umdurman, close to Khartoum city. Sudanese military is planning to disperse these sit-ins because sit-ins are leading to increased pressure upon Sudanese military. But reportedly, the number of participants in the sit-ins is on the rise. Sit-ins are growing bigger. And today, Sudan's Communist Party issued a statement. It warned Sudanese military against any attempt to disperse these sit-ins. The Sudanese Communist Party says if Sudanese military tried to disperse the sit-ins, the resistance struggle will intensify. All peaceful means be used. We have seen some reports, messages by these resistance committees, FFCs, that there could be action on these sit-ins. That is why people should be careful. They should try to adopt whatever measures they can to protect themselves and to make the sit-ins bigger so that it would be difficult for Sudan's military to disperse these sit-ins. But so far, sit-ins are there in Bahri, Khartoum city, and in Umdurman, and it is leading to increased pressure upon Sudanese military. Secondly, viewers, IGAD, Intergovernmental Authority on Development, a regional trade bloc of 8 countries, is due to meet tomorrow in Nairobi, Kenya. This trade bloc has 8 members. Ethiopia is a member of this bloc. Ethiopia, Kenya, Sudan, South Sudan, Somalia, Uganda, Djibouti, and Eritrea are 8 members of IGAD. IGAD's heads of state conference will be held in Nairobi, Kenya. It means that heads of state will be there. They're expected to be there in Nairobi, Kenya to attend this summit. Eritrea was suspended from IGAD, but later it was reinstated. So Eritrea is part of IGAD now. Important thing is, what is the agenda of this extraordinary IGAD Heads of State Summit? The main agenda is Ethiopia-Sudan border conflict. What we have learned is that through this summit, an attempt is being made to bring peace to border areas, because Ethiopia does not want to be involved in further border escalation. Ethiopia is concentrating on starting third filling of GERD dam site. Ethiopia does not want any escalation to disturb its main goal. Its main goal is third filling of GERD. And IGAD Executive Secretary has close links with PM Abiy. So it is being said that this session is being convened to address Ethiopia-Sudan border conflict main issue. Will Eritrea attend tomorrow's meeting? That remains to be seen. Secondly, could there be some discussion about Tigray conflict, about expected talks? It remains to be seen. But it seems that the summit will focus on regional issues, not internal issues. So it could focus on trade issues between Ethiopia and Djibouti, between IGAD member countries. We'll update you tomorrow about this key session due to be held in Nairobi, Kenya at Safari Hotel in Nairobi, Kenya tomorrow. Thirdly, viewers, a journalist who has been in prison for more than a month has been granted bail. The man has faced imprisonment in the past as well. For more than a decade, he's been facing imprisonments. His name is Temesgen Desalegn, editor of Fithi magazine. More than a month ago, he was arrested after the start of Ethiopian government's, Amhara regional government's operation against Fano in the Amhara region. Those who were criticizing the operation were arrested. He was arrested. He was granted bail by Federal First Instance Court of Ethiopia, but the bail was revoked because the police filed an appeal against bail orders. And reportedly, he was beaten as well in police custody. His brother leveled allegations against police officials that they beat Temesgen Desalegn in police custody. And today, he was granted bail. Reportedly, Federal High Court granted him bail for 100,000 Ethiopian birds. Bail has been granted. Question is, will Temesgen Desalegn be released or not? Because sometimes Ethiopian courts grant bails, but police does not release prisoners, or prisoners are released, but immediately after the release, they're again arrested. Like we saw in the case of Sintaji Chikol, he was granted bail, but reportedly when he stepped out of Bahidar prison, he was arrested by federal police of Ethiopia. Let's see, will Temesgen Desalegn be released or not? We'll update you in coming videos. So far, what we can confirm is that Federal High Court has granted him bail. Fourth lever's very important news story is about the deployment of Amhara regional forces and militias in the Oromia region of Ethiopia. A few days ago, after Velaga massacre, Amhara regional president Yelkal Kefale and Oromia president Shimalis Abdisa held a meeting in Bahirdar. It was decided that joint operation be launched against Oromo Liberation Army, and after that we saw movement of regional and federal forces into Oromia region to launch another operation against Oromo Liberation Army. But we have seen statements from Oromia-based political parties which are opposing the deployment of Amhara Special Force, Amhara Regional Force, Amhara militias to Oromia. One clarification, a viewer sent me an email. He said, Sajid, you keep on saying that if Amhara forces, militias are deployed to Oromia, it could endanger the lives of Amhara civilians in Oromia. You are endangering their lives by sharing this narrative. I am not endangering their lives. I am forecasting what is going to happen, what could happen, what has been happening in the past. That is my job, is to warn people in advance, keeping in view what we have been reporting, keeping in view the experience. Now we are in a situation to forecast things a little. So that is what we are saying, that keeping in view present situation, it could happen. We are not endangering their lives, but you know what's happening in Oromia. Ethnic violence is not something new there. We are reporting what is happening, what could happen. Now, deployment of Amhara regional forces now has been confirmed. Why? Because Bekele Gerba spoke about it last night. Bekele and Jawar Muhammad are on the trip abroad. They are in the US. Jawar completed Europe travel as well, and now they are in the US. Both were in Seattle last night. They addressed Oromo diaspora there. And Bekele Gerba demanded the withdrawal of Amhara forces from Oromia last night in his talk in Seattle. It means that there are Amhara forces, Amhara militias deployed in Oromia region. And he threatened that if Amhara forces did not withdraw, resistance will become stronger and a call will be made for the people to join the struggle. Oromo people will struggle. Oromo people will launch a struggle against the deployment of Amhara forces, Amhara militias to Oromia. That is what was said by Bekele Gerba last night. So he is warning that Amhara forces should not be deployed to Oromia. He is from Velaga. Bekele Gerba is from Velaga. And this deployment is reportedly in Western Oromia, Velaga. That is why he is speaking, I think, because it's his constituency, you can say. He represents Velaga. And he is warning that the deployment of Amhara forces could be counterproductive. And he is telling Oromos to be ready. Now, what does it mean? That is what I am warning against. It will happen. It could happen. Bekele is telling Oromos to be prepared to push Amhara forces out of Velaga. So if they remain deployed, what will happen? That is why I'm saying that deployment of Amhara forces, Amhara militias to Oromia is counterproductive. It could lead to escalation in ethnic violence in Oromia region of Ethiopia. Lastly, viewers, very important news story is about an Ethiopian journalist who spoke about PM Abiy's remarks regarding Western Tigray. A few days ago, some news sources claimed that at a meeting of Prosperity Party, PM Abiy said that Western Tigray will have to be given back to Tigray regional government. Otherwise, Tigray will launch a military offensive to retake Western Tigray. Of course, it was a claim, no evidence. But now an Ethiopian journalist has spoken about it. And the journalist is not anti-PM Abiy. He is a very staunch defender of Ethiopian PM Abiy Ahmed. He is like Siom to Shoma, you can say. His name is Sise Agina. Sise Agina has worked at ESAT as well with Massey McConnell, who has retired. And Sise Agina once again repeated what is being claimed. Sise Agina says that PM Abiy did say that Western Tigray would have to be given back to Tigray. Otherwise, there could be a new war, a new military offensive by Tigray Defense Force. So, can we say that now it has been confirmed that Ethiopian government is going to give back Western Tigray to Tigray regional government? Several sources are sharing this information that Ethiopian government has decided to compromise. But question is, what will be the response of Amhara region? Amhara region has its claims to Western Tigray, Volkai, Sagede. Amhara regional president Dilkal Kifale said a few days ago, Volkait is non-negotiable. Volkait is Amhara. So Amhara region's position about Volkait is very rigid. That is why, and Tigray's position is equally rigid. That is why it's difficult to say now what's going to happen. But it seems that it is one of the options being considered by Ethiopian government led by PM Abiy, that Western Tigray be given back to Tigray. But again, talks are due to start and talks have not started so far, though several days have passed since the announcement of these talks. So it means that there is many a slip between cup and the lip. Let's see what happens. Thank you for watching.